I could have had a record deal already. I'm just looking for the right situation.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of things need to be in place for me to want to commit. You know, I mean, a record deal is like a marriage, so you got to really find out about somebody and know what their best interests are before you take that vow. So I mean, I've had meetings with everybody. You know, I've had meetings with Interscope. I've had talks with Universal Motown, Rockefeller Records, Def Jam. I had a big meeting last week with Koch, Sony, Epic.
Oh yeah.
That looks like a pretty good situation. I don't know. I mean, you know, originally I really wanted to be on Def Jam or Rockefeller, but you know, they got a lot of artists over there right now, and I think that what I have to offer is very unique. You know, it takes somebody who really is trying to break into a mainstream market and understands the power of marketing itself. And I'm not saying Def Jam Rockefeller does, but I think that maybe they're what they need right now in terms of artists is a little different than.
This man was weighing down his options. He wasn't rushing into a deal, and he was letting things play out on its own. You feel me? Which y'all should be doing. Don't just sign the first deal.
They have to complement each other. You know, the artist has to complement the label and vice versa, because when one is more powerful than the other, then you know you either get an artist who like doesn't want to sign to a label because they feel like they have too much to offer, or you get a label who you always want the label to be interested in helping you in the sense of like progressing even further. You don't want them to be coming to you saying, how can we start your career off? Because that's always when it gets a little sticky, I think, with artists.
Who's marketing you nowadays are going to be putting up money for music videos and radio, which you don't need them to do either of those things for you. The reality is that if you have a fucking Instagram and you have a Twitter and you have dope music, you're a personable person or whatever the fuck, you can generate a fan base on your own. You gotta realize the world we're living in right now made it possible for everyone to make it.
There you go. You need social media and nothing else. You don't got to go out and sell your CDs like back in the days, or go to a label for marketing purposes when everything is literally handed to you and it's free. All you can do is just post.
Everything is connected, everything is accessible. There's no reason why you can't be the biggest artist in the world if you get your shit together.
So people don't know, like I had a deal at first. They offered me a deal with Jimmy Iovine. It was $1 million deal.
Wow. Because you was already moving
Was that
records?
Interscope already?
Yeah.
So this is the beginning of Interscope.
That was the beginning. They had Suge and Puffy.
Right.
Wow.
At that time, they said, if you sign this deal with us, then we'll have the South, we'll have the streets.
Wow.
And I was in there with C, me and C, you know. C was like, take the $1 million.
I mean, you say C, you talking about C Murder?
Yeah,
okay.
my brother.
Okay.
He said, take the $1 million. I said, nah, man, I'm gonna go get some lunch. I told Jimmy Iovine, I'm gonna go get some lunch. I come back. He said, if you don't come back, you'll never get a deal in this town. So I left. Me and C on the plane, about to fight. We on Southwest Airlines. I
was curious. What did you eat for lunch? What did you eat?
Peanuts and a Coke.
Oh,
That's what I had. So you know what I'm saying? I'm next to C, and he mad because he won't take the money. Let's go.
Bro ate some peanuts and a Coke, but he was standing on what he meant, on what he believed in that he was worth. Not worth $1 million. He was worth more.
Take over the project. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro. If this white man offered me $1 million, he don't know me. How much you think I'm worth?
Yeah,
wow.
exactly.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And that's when we just got quiet and said, man, let's go on back to the project and do what we got to do. Wow. And I just started selling CDs out the trunk of my car.
A lot of artists who are worried about artificial intelligence and how it's going to change the music industry replace artists. Right. But you really think that AI, because it is the future of the music industry, and you think that people have to embrace it and use it to their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the smartest thing to do. As you know, anything that becomes of technology that kind of replaces the old, whenever you resist it, you find yourself getting left behind. I mean, if you're not a real artist, then you could be threatened that AI can take your position. But I don't think a machine can think like a human or feel like a human, and music is all about feeling, right? So I don't think AI could never take the place of a real artist, but for the most part, I think if you're in a position where you fear AI, then you're not really confident in what you bring to the table.
That's the interesting perspective. You gotta believe, you gotta have a actual passion between you and what you do with the music that you're putting out. Because AI, you can literally use Sora and it's gonna spit out a whole song. But about the whole feelings that you put into the music, that's a whole nother ball, like a whole different way of like thinking about it. Like, yeah, you gotta have passion between you and the music you put out, cause AI ain't gonna be passionate about what it's spitting out of its software. It's just gonna, you're just gonna hear it as a actual, audio, not a real person behind it. Really, I don't know if that even makes sense.
I went to Atlantic Records in New York City and sat down, and it was just, I don't know. I like Atlantic Records. I think they're a good established, label. But at the time, again, it was just like there was a little bird in my ear talking about, nah, just don't do that. So, but if I would have took that deal then, I wouldn't have learned what I learned, outside of music, like investments and, just how to be,
Because you would have technically been like working strictly music all the time.
Yep.
Okay, it's been a while since you dropped music, so what was the wait?
Oh man, get my shit together, get my personal life together. You know what I'm saying? And to create the art nowadays, it flows, cause like I ain't got, I don't know, I had weight on my shoulders from certain things, and just life, and I had to get my things in order, get my ducks in a row before I can sit down and creatively, because it's art, you got to be able to let what's up here out through right here. And so
that's
is independent then. I mean, does it even make sense does it make sense to get that deal nowadays?
Hell yeah, because a lot of people that want to go independent don't have no team, don't have no knowledge.
Okay.
Don't have no, you need them folks. You know what I'm saying? Don't be scared of it. Just know what you're getting into. Don't go in there motherfucker complaining about where my check at. They gave you the big ass check. That was the check that you earned. Now, take advantage of them putting your music out, making you famous. Go do the shows. Step your game up.
A lot of people talking bad about record deals and how you always hear it from the artist perspective of like, man, I had these terms was bad, this contract was bad, that was bad. But what nobody acknowledges that the deal is always bad for the person that puts up the money, because 9 times out of 10 that person doesn't make their money back. And then the one time they do make their money back, they got to worry about an artist switching up terms all of a sudden when they change the way the deal goes. So when someone signs a record deal, it's usually bad for the person that's putting the money up, because they know they have a 10% chance of making that money back. I always say executives in the music business are crazy. They should get hugs everywhere they go, because we're the only people who are going to put all our money up, all our relationships, all our energy into an artist, knowing that when they get to a certain point, they're going to switch up those terms and make it more favorable to them, yet we still do it. So artists, we lose way more money than we make in this shit. So just know that.
What it is. The difference between a label deal and a distribution deal is you're independent when you got a distribution deal. They don't give you a loan, you know what I'm saying, or a payout or nothing like that. Say if it was a label, and I kind of think that was a smarter route for me, just because it kind of gave me my own platform. And then I won't be in deficit with anybody. Like I won't have to owe nobody nothing.
Yeah. They don't own you. They don't own any music, nothing.
Nothing. I own the rights to everything. I own my own masters.
What I got at is you're better off getting a distribution deal. You'll have no debt. You'll be in control of what your masters is. But if you're in a label, you're pretty much getting that loan, and then you're in debt.
A rapper can't generate the money that their deal gave them. Like, are they in debt to the label, or how does that work?
They are in debt to the label, but I mean, you really get to walk away scot-free.
Okay.
Honestly, when
so it's like a bad
startup, money, if you never recoup, it's like it's on them. They took the loss, and you still get to kind of maneuver. Sometimes you don't get to release any more music, depending on what your contract terms was with them and if they shelf you. But I mean, if you had some shit for like one album and you delivered, it's like you got to walk away the winner, and that's it. And that's the thing people don't understand. Everyone's like, yeah, when a label gives you money, it's a loan and yada yada. And yeah, it is a loan, but it's like it's a loan that you don't truly have to pay back. If I take out a loan from the bank, I have to pay it back or my credit goes to shit. If a label gives me $1 million and I don't recoup, I'm going to walk away with $1 million.
I had a question about how monetization and how the streams work. How do you set that kind of thing up?
So when you release a song, you first need distribution, and that could be TuneCore, DistroKid, United Masters, Empire. There's a slew of them. You look up distribution, right? When you distribute your release, they pay you for all the DSPs. DSPs is digital service providers. That's Spotify, Tidal, Apple. After you go through your distro, you need to set up your publishing. Your publishing is going to be through ASCAP or BMI if you're in the USA. After you set that up, you need to set up a Song Trust account. They're a publishing admin. They collect royalties worldwide. After that, you need to set up a Sound Exchange account.
This is so much information, but it sounds really valuable for anybody who's trying to distribute their music.
They collect another set of royalties. Every time you release a song, you should be getting paid from 4 different ways instantly if you set up your stuff right.
If you are going to sign with a label, make sure you have leverage.
Yeah, go looking down at them. Don't go in there looking up. Because you go looking up, they're going to know it, and then you're going to get
One thing that somebody told me a long time ago as well, too, is they said if the president isn't in the label meeting when you're going to first meeting within 20 minutes, get up out of there.
Yeah, walk away.
Walk away.
Because it hasn't gotten to the top yet.
It hasn't gotten to the top.
No, and they don't care.
Trust me, they do not care.
And if they don't care, it's like,
they care when there's momentum, when it's super hot. So, I always do consult artists just when you're going into the situations. Be sure that you know you're going to be taken care of. Who are the
Like Bobby Shmurda when he was in the office performing on top of the whole table, the hot, because you know I'm a hot boy, hot. No. I don't know the song, but y'all know what I mean.
those people's in the building?
Yeah.
Like, do you know somebody in there, right? And is that because also, as we know, like, I mean, a lot of people got let go, but also it's a revolving door.
Yeah.
These people are moving jobs 2 years. I was island and the president changed 3 times within 3 years, bro.
It's fucked, but also like your people change. Like it's really like it's a tough.
That's a tough one.
It's a tough one, bro. Because like it's like when your person walks out that building, you're on your own.
Yeah,
and it's good luck.
100%. It's good luck.
Yeah.
If you're not
tapped in.
If you're not tapped in, or if your artist isn't crushing it.
Yeah.
Right. Or if you're the artist and you're not crushing it.
It's really like good luck.
Your own narrative is really what makes you independent. If the label has to tell your narrative, then you're not independent, which is not a problem. Every artist don't need a narrative because guess what? You got to keep it up. And when you can't keep it up, guess what they're going to say? You're exposed. You're a fraud.
Do you think there's truth in like taking the deal initially?
So does that mean they got to be your ghostwriter?
And maybe taking a loss, maybe getting taken advantage of, but then being able to transition it and leverage it later. That's your rookie contract.
Don't get it twisted. Don't look at the big number, man. Look at the amount of time in the increments of output that is net off of that. For me, Jay-Z's the greatest because due to his production, look at what he's netted. Look at what Kanye has netted off of what they have put out in the economy. Everybody get it in different ways. Somebody's going to get it in sales. Somebody's going to get it in marketing deals, acting deals. Vince Staples, you know what I mean? Vince Staples don't sell a lot of records, but his presence allows him to stay around long enough for people to fit him in ideas.
We signed the deal.
Personal branding. Because Yeezys, they had them shoes for Kanye. Ace of Spades, I think, for Jay-Z. So you got to have a product and a personal brand.
That leaked into the streaming era. So we're signing the deal based on CDs, vinyls, etc. Then the whole game's changed and it's streaming.
On the week of our album release.
On the week of our album release, and we're still going for old format. Now your song gets just played forever. Do you get what I'm saying? So the whole mechanism's changed. So now we're in a deal that's based over the dinosaur way.
How many options was in your deal?
And four.
So we couldn't put a video till the project was finished all the time.
Okay.
We couldn't like release a song.
Are you out of that deal now?
Yeah.
But did you just recently come out of that deal?
Yeah, about 2 years ago.
And it took
2 years ago.
Yeah, but how long was you in it for?
2013, we come out of it 2022.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So how are you guys making bread, or was you kind of renegotiating every time?
No, that's why we put so much effort into our live and that, like.
Oh,
and we like, you know what I'm saying? Like when man's come to our shows, man think the stage is flying. It's because we want to really go in with our life. Like it turned man into a monster, bro. Like that deal made man think you lot have like all this music that man's made. Man's never gonna see a pound from the music sales, ever. Which is crazy after being in a deal for however many years. Man's never made a pound of these records that we sold millions and millions of records. That's either gonna make or break you, innit?
Yeah.
Don't realize when they sign deals, most of the time, unless you have crazy amounts of leverage, you don't realize that you're basically just becoming an employee of, let's say, Universal Records. You're now their employee, meaning you're kind of their puppet. Go there, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. You can't do this now, you can do it later. Oh, never mind, it's someone else's turn. Like, it's very
And the
controlled.
worst part is you don't even have your own creative flow over what you want to do. You know what I mean?
Exactly, for the most part. But that's the thing, then you're going to hear people use the counter argument, yeah, but what about Drake? What about this? Yeah, but they went through that whole system to become that. Yeah. So that's the trade-off.
These kids $1 million is ruin our business. And I seen so many people say, what? They can't get $1 million? $1 million is a trick. You wanna know why? Because when you start out with $1 million, you're $1 million in debt. This is not the lotto. My advice to every young up and coming artist, I know what it feels like to want to get out the projects. I know what it is to want to take care of your kids, even to want the dumb. Everybody else want a car, chain, a watch. I know what it clothes. I know what all that it is. But if you are able to get a fair deal with a low amount of money invested, it's better than taking a big lump sum. Because if you take that big amount of money, if you don't have a fucking hit record in the first 3 to 6 months, you done. You gonna get that $1 million and you not never gonna get $1 million again. You better taking less money and
sounds like a very high risk. But what's the reward?
Working your way up. It's gonna be real up. You take that M, now you calling people because your song done died down and the hype done died down from that TikTok and that IG shit that went viral. And
that's why y'all gotta stay consistent. Post every single day. You don't know, man. One video can change your whole life. That's what I like to say. Hey, don't forget on the way out, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to comment down below. And I'll see you on the next one.